Yo, what's up people, how's it going? It's your boy here, Soundyman, with another video game review. Today we'll be looking at a very niche and very indie title, Ultimate Rock Crawler. I enjoy trying games that few have played. One of my favorite PS2 games is called Pirates: The Legend of Black Cat. Not once have I met anyone else who has played this game, however, it is a great sleeper title which went under most people's radars. On PC nowadays, the Steam service allows small indie devs to publish their own games and let them be played by a large audience. However, since there are so many new releases on Steam every day, many of these games go unnoticed. Some of these games I'm sure are quite good too, undeserving of their lack of attention. When reviewing, I don't want to always just do the big titles that everyone is going to play anyway. I want to do some reviews about these small indie games that go under people's radars. So I asked for help from my friends to find me a game to review. The always great Steel Monkey quickly found a suitable game which he wanted me to look at, and promptly gifted to me. It is known as Ultimate Rock Crawler, and it is a game, by all accounts, one that should have stayed under the radar.
Story.
There is no story or exposition in Ultimate Rock Crawler. You're barely even told where to go during gameplay. The only way you learn to play the game is by sheer guesswork, and the only information you get to help you in this is the tiny text box in the menu screen. This is a clip of my first experience playing Ultimate Rock Crawler. When starting the game, you're simply thrusted into a confusing and blurry environment with only dreams guiding you. Don't be mistaken though, this isn't a free roaming game. There is a stringent path you must follow, and if you deviate from the pre-approved course, you will be met with a lot of invisible walls and otherwise broken environments.
Gameplay.
The entire game is based around driving up and over rocks and along bridges. It mirrors a lot of those moments from Bethesda games where you jump along mountains trying to glitch your way up them. The game itself does its own idea quite poorly. The physics are very odd and simply a horrible mess for this kind of game. It feels like a lot of times you're just magnetized to whatever you happen to be on without any actual gravity existing in the game. Many times you'll just randomly crash or get into instant car wrecks when driving over small bumps, and that just adds to the frustration of getting caught on the rocks themselves. When your car wrecks a number of times, you have to repair it, which makes some sense. You can repair it two different ways in the garage screen: by going into the engine and literally slamming your forehead into various components, or by paying 50 credits for a service job. You can also get other upgrades and change how your car looks on the screen, so obviously I went with hot pink. Credits are earned somehow. I'm guessing it's by going through the checkpoints on a level's course, of which there are 2 on each level. After doing both paths and level, you can proceed on to the next level, or not. Again, it's not explained at all, so a few times I seem to just randomly unlock the next level without actually completing anything. There is also a level editor within the game, so you can make your own rock crawling experience. The entities you spawn are created directly where the camera is, and that's pretty awful for trying to figure out where things should go. If your camera isn't pointing directly straight, they'll be creating an angle as well, adding to even more frustration. To be brutally honest, this game is just not fun to play. It feels like something that someone made just to test the Unity engine out as their first game. Then they decided to release it on Steam. It's extremely broken and incomplete, with many of the elements simply not well made. That's not even mentioning the
Graphics and design.
When browsing through the menus, you're greeted with the finest royalty-free music the internet has to offer. There are tracks ranging from Man Trying to Play Solo and We Made This in Punk-O-Matic to out-of-place electronic song and Not Sweet Home Alabama. The menu screen, like much else in the game, is very weird and not well thought out. I get that this is supposed to be a freeze-frame shot of a car driving up a mountain, but why is the camera moving and why are there flags still flapping in the background? Wouldn't that mean that this is a video instead? And if this is a video, why isn't the audience moving? What fresh hell are they stuck in? Okay, that's enough of my AVGN impression. The in-game graphics are pretty much to be expected for a game of this caliber. There's a massive blur always on to hide the lazily made backgrounds, the car looks very blocky and unrealistic, the textures are bland and repeated endlessly, there isn't any decent lighting, the audience members are stiff and look to be made of clay, and it all just feels cheap. I know there are some interesting things you can do with the Unity engine's graphics, however in this game it all feels like a bunch of stock models and textures were mashed together to make something playable with no care for lighting or other graphical improvements.
Conclusion.
Ultimate Rockcrawler definitely has a certain charm to it that only indie titles can provide. While the game at every possible moment was undoubtedly painful to play, you could tell the creator tried his damnedest to make it good, and I appreciate that. And hey, sometimes there is a bit of fun to be had in some pain. That's the reason S&M exists. Sadly though, Ultimate Rockcrawler isn't fun for fans of pain. It's hair-wrenching and an ultimately frustrating game. I can see this as being maybe a free download on IndieDB to show it off as a test game the person made, but definitely not as a paid release on Steam. I would never pay money for this, and I'm surprised Steel Monkey did. Not to be a knock on the creator themselves personally, but this game should never again be played by any mortal being.